Hey, what's up guys? Professional players are making everyone mad at the top of leaderboards with this new Mega Knight spam deck. Despite having a hefty 7 elixir Mega Knight in the deck, the average elixir cost is 2.9. And instead of getting outpaced by wall breakers and fast cycle decks, you'll be back to Mega Knight, giving a mega surprise for your enemy's demise. When opponents spam too much stuff into a Mega Knight, it's always difficult for them to defend the counter push. But with the added 2 evolutions, it's almost impossible. When you split evolved skeletons with a Mega Knight and Miner tanking on both sides, and your opponent wastes their spells, you go in for the evolved bats and ransack their tower. Since opponents are forced to deal with counter pushing jumping Mega Knights and speeding wall breakers that will typically bait out buildings for positive elixir trades, it's easy for this deck to gain momentum. All it takes is one successful spam for the evolved bats to always heal up, or evolved skeletons to rapidly multiply so the red king will definitely die. It's time to jump into some games with our double evos to multiply the cycle chaos and assert dominance. Evo bats are the best evolution in the deck, but if you don't have them, you can use regular bats. Lots of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with credit code SirTag. Hey, this guy finished 193 in the world, so he's a top 200 player. You know what, Larry? It's our mission to make you lose to Larry's yourself. If he loses the skeletons, I feel like he's going to be like, I hate myself. I'm going to change my name. I'm never going to be called Larry again. Okay, so he's going to have a Royal Giant deck, so maybe he's going to fireball Larry's. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. It's his destiny to fireball the Larry's. I could Mega Knight on the Little Prince, and I think that's a decent decision, just because a lot of times, like, Mega Knighting right now is just going to give us a lot of counter pressure, and the opponent won't be able to defend that idealistically. He might go in for a Fisherman, and we could mess it up. Oh, wait, does he not have the deck that I thought? He's not going to be able to activate King Tower with that. That's fine. Both wall breakers will connect if he doesn't drop a small spell. Oh, he's going to have arrows. -1 trade. We take those. So overall, not terrible, but not a triumphant position either. I'm going to try to go in for a bandit and latch onto the archer and then try to get some good counter pressure with the bandit and bats. Reason why we're trying to cycle the bats is because they're the evolution. So obviously when the opponent doesn't have arrows in cycle, it's going to give us a lot of extra value. And on top of that, we want to speed run the evolution cycle from the positive elixir trades. So I'm going to go for skeletons, but I'm going to drop them a little bit later. I want to make sure that the fisherman locks onto our tower, and then we're going to be able to counter it with the skellies. So just because the skeletons are in front of the tower, notice how the fisherman locks on the tower, but it will hit the skeletons. That's a cool interaction to delay your spells. So if your opponent makes predictions on the skeletons, well, they don't necessarily hit them. But if they're holding a spell like a rage, you don't want to do that. All right, so we can zap, and I believe one of the wall breakers might connect. Please? Yes! I love knowing those interactions. So we just blasted a top 200 player because he was unaware of our potential of zapping him. So I'm going to try to go for a Mega Knight because the Knight is out of cycle and it's going to be harder for him to defend. Without the mini tank in cycle, it's really difficult to stop this. So I want to do split lane pressure ideally too. So let's go for this. Let's try to go in for evolved skeletons on both sides and see if he arrows us. If he does, then we're in a pretty good spot because then we can go Evo Bats. I think if we go for a zap, we might be able to just kill the Little Prince. At least I believe in the power. Oh my gosh! Look at the evolved skeletons on the left. I didn't even notice. They're just going. They're literally just going. Such a stupid card. It's near impossible for even the best players in the world to deal with this. He's going to get 3 crown. Look at him go. I mean, that was traumatizing. There's no doubt in my mind that that is unfair. Having the Evo Bats and the Evo Skeletons that both bait out arrows, and it's just ridiculous. It's so unfair for even the best players in the world. They can't even stop it. So it doesn't matter that he's good and he's making the right plays here. He still loses. Because when you bring a Mega Knight down on all of your opponent's spam, you crash their chances of winning to an absolute 0. And that guy was one of the best Goblin Giant players in the game. And he got surrounded and pounded by skeletons, even though he was at over 3,040 medals at 193 in the world. Even the most talented players in Clash Royale get overwhelmed by Evolved Skeleton Cycle. And we've jumped up the ranks to 1,200 in the world. Yo, we got a game against someone that's 468 in the world, and he is from Little Infinity. So there's going to be an infinite amount of units spammed at him. You guys already know that. So we're going to fulfill his destiny. And I hate the fact that he just spams a bomber at the start. He's like, it's 2 elixir. It doesn't matter. Well, guess what, dude? It does matter to me. Also, he's going to activate King Tower with the miner, so that feels horrible. But that means that we can use our Little Prince on defense, and there's no way the Electro Giant can go and pull that directly into it. This is a free bounce back for us and an opportunity for us to go in for a Mega Knight afterward. This Electro Giant is done for. It's toasted and roasted, my guys. The good thing about that is the minimal damage that we take. The bad thing is there's a chance he's going to go bowler. I can sense the bowler. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I'm going to go in for a bandit here as well. He might be down too much elixir for the bowler. I don't know. Oh, he's going to try to activate King? I'm so surprised. Little Prince is on the tower. Wait, the bomber isn't hitting the Little Prince for a minute. Wait, this is ridiculous. If we zap, I don't know if that was worth it. I don't think it was. I don't think that was very smart. I can activate King Tower with the bomber, though, so I think we'll roll with that. We'll go for our wall breakers here. And that's a King Tower activation. But there's no damage for us with the wall breaker, so I should have been dropping skeletons instead, I think. It is what it is. We're playing against Electro Giant. We don't have a building, so this is traditionally a very tough matchup for us. But I believe that we can win this if I play it correctly. If you didn't know, Evolved Skeletons can counter Electro Giant very effectively. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage. I'm going to go in for bats on the other side, and maybe I can get to Evolve Skeletons against this Electro Giant. This might seem very stupid for a lot of y'all, and you'll be like, Jake, why are you doing this? But I promise it will maybe make sense. Maybe it will make sense in a second. We're going to go for Evolve Skeletons against the Electro Giant. The wall breaker is going to go through on the other side. Notice how the skeletons multiply against the Electro Giant? So you just rush through with an insane amount of them. That is something that most people don't know or expect. And if you can dish that out every time, obviously it's going to be a fantastic interaction for you. We're going to eat the damage here, and then I think I can go in for a minor plus... I think minor plus bats. And that's probably the play. We want to make it a dynamic game where I can take both of his towers. So we're going to try to go in this side. We'll see if he goes in for a Archer Queen. He loses everything. Wait, he's just screwed. He actually straight up loses the tower here, right? Oh my goodness. He had to go for an Archer Queen. That's ridiculous. If we go in for a Mega Knight on top of this Electro Giant, it will die. And then we just have to counter this Archer Queen, which I think I can do. I'm going to click the ability. Please, Little Prince ability, come down. Knock back the Electro Giant. Thank you. Oh, no. Wait, it's targeting the Guardian instead of the Mega Knight. Wait, that just griefed his game. There's no way that that worked out for us. Now we can go for wall breakers. The miner's on the tower despite not even getting targeted on the tower at the start. That's the most roundabout pathway for a miner to target the tower, but we'll take it. And I can go for another Mega Knight at the river and then go for bats again because he just used his Tornado. So I think he has to Electro Giant into this. And if he Electro Giants and he doesn't have Tornado, we can go for a miner in the safe spot, and this should guarantee value. Wait, are we going to kill the bomber? There's no way! Wait, the zap didn't work. But it still worked. Wait, how did that work? It didn't work, but it worked. I'm so confused on how we killed his cards. Anyway, we have to use the ability here so we don't lose. And then I think the Mega Knight's going to die, but maybe it can jump in time. Yo, it jumped. It jumped twice, but it didn't get the last jump. What the heck? What is going on in this game? This is the wildest theme park ride that I've ever endeavored on. The Little Prince just needs to lock onto the tower or the Guardian. Please give me the victory. Let's go. We slashed through and there was nothing he could do. After an infinite amount of randomness in that game, we've successfully ranked our way up in the leaderboards all the way to 1,100 in the world. All right, we got a game against SGR. The guy is a thinking goblin, so we'll see what this pensive sir is going to be cooking up for us today. Okay, so he's going to go in for Spear Goblins at the start, which is not a card that can be evolved. So I would say I'm winning since I cycled Skeletons and I'm rushing to my evolution. He's going to go for a log, so we're going to test the waters to the left with our wall breakers. I don't think that we're going to be able to break through, but we get a +2 elixir trade with the bomb tower out of cycle. So genuinely, without the bomb tower in cycle, I want to build up a huge amount of elixir and drop my Mega Knight in the back and encourage him to go and spam into our bats and our Little Prince. If we spam into the Little Prince, we click the ability, we generate huge positive elixir trade and get counter pressure. It's also nice to be able to go in for the Bandit plus the Little Prince, and I think that's a very good transaction as well. We can easily zap on top of those bats to eliminate them, and then he might try to activate King Tower. We'll have to wait and see, but the good thing for me is I can pop through with Little Prince ability at any point and then possibly lock onto the tower because the Knight is too preoccupied. Wait, what? Oh, come on! The Guardian was so disheveled and distracted that she didn't know where to go. Genuinely, I believe that she was going to lock onto the tower, and that was the most disappointing Guardian I have had in my life. But it be what it be. It happens. We went through with the potential of getting damage. We got stifled along the way, but it doesn't matter because we didn't lose anything in the process. We only lost a little bit of our soul from the Guardian disappointing us. Nothing in the game, though. We're going to go in for the Bandit here, and we're going to try to bounce back on the Miner. And I could go in for wall breakers here on the right-hand side since the bats are going to hopefully divide our opponent's attention. We'll see. Nice. Ooh. He's got the moves. He's trying to make moves. Wait, is the Bandit going to stay alive and dash in the tower? There's no way. Okay, yeah. I willed that into existence. There was no way for that Bandit to survive. She was a lost cause, just like the Guardian, but I didn't realize the Guardian. At least I realized with the Bandit. So I can maybe go in for another Mega Knight in the back. We do have Evolved Skeletons. It's going to be harder for him to break through. Let's go for a Little Prince and just make sure that we have a good defense here for the Knight so he can't spam too much stuff into us. And then we can go in for the Mega Knight in the back and build up a huge push. I would love to go for bats, but I think that my opponent is probably going to go Spear Goblins if I do that. I also don't want to click the ability because I think that's an overextension. Yeah, let's just go in for Skeleton's Evolution since it only costs 1 elixir and we get a lot of value from it. And now since our opponent is down a ton of elixir, we can go for our bats and we can bombard him with a bandit. So even though we lost our evolution, it doesn't matter that much because our elixir traits are huge. And then we can go for a Zapperino. And I think the Magnite, yeah, it jumps on the tower and it knocks away the knight. I don't know if the zap was actually necessary, but it was a nice touch. It was a little bit of salad dressing on our dishing of dominance to our dude, and I think we've won this one. There's no way he's going to stop this. I don't even think he wants to have the horrible future of jumping things right into a Magnite because it's just not a fun moment when you know that your cards are going to die instantly. The dude dipped out of the game because he knew he was done for, and we were about to no, we did 3 crown. Wow. I thought we weren't going to get it, but more Pastoral crowns for us for a faster expedition. Wait, I already completed Pastoral a couple days into the season. That's pretty ridiculous. There's 22 days left on the pass and I'm already done with it. All right, we're playing against someone that finished 386 in the world and they got the Cannoneer Tower. So usually if you're playing wall breakers, you look at that and you're just astonishingly in a perpetual placement of pain. Because you look at it and your wall breakers are going to cost 2 elixir and they're tower targeting troops, yet they can never reach the tower. But because we've got bats and skeletons and other cards, I think it might be in our favor slightly, despite our wall breakers being useless. So I'm going to go in for bats here. And when we go for wall breakers, we need to have something tanked for them. Or we could go for a zap last second and mess with our opponent's mental. Because maybe he thinks the wall breakers will just get deleted and then we drop a zap. Or drop a miner last second and get the miner in a tank. That would be pretty fun. Oh, it's a graveyard deck, right? It's got to be a graveyard deck. I'm going to Mega Knight, and I'm going to drop it very low so that I can jump directly towards Little Prince. Even if he clicks the ability, I think it would be a waste. Interesting that he's going to do it anyway. We could zap and reset it. We're going to go Skeleton, and we're going to zap and reset the Little Prince just to guarantee that it does die. And I don't think that they're going to activate King Tower here, but maybe they'll surprise me. Yeah, he's going to go for a Knight on defense. I can pull that to the other side utilizing our wall breakers, or I can apply pressure and go in for something else. I mean, it really screams graveyard, right? There is a baby dragon in the deck. There has to be graveyard. You're cooking up a graveyard deck, you menace. So I'm going to click the ability here. We need to be able to lock on the mortar to finish it off. Unfortunately, our Guardian is accomplishing nothing as well. I will go for wall breakers, and then I'm going to go for bats. We want the wall breakers to take the primary targeting from the baby dragon. So then we can guarantee the bats are going to force out extra elixir, especially since they're going to... Oh... I wanted them to stay alive so you could counter push at them. Because even like regular 3 skeletons will get a hit on the tower if the Cannoneer does not support anything else. If they don't drop anything else, skeletons do get damage. So let's just drop our skellies at the river and prove a point. You're dropping them at the river and you make your opponent shiver and you get 1 skeleton hit. Not necessarily like the best thing in the world, but it does work. Look at that. 1 little tap. So I want to be able to tap down this Evolved Knight very quickly utilizing our Mega Knight. And then I want to go in for our bats. Best thing about this is the bats are going to be able to lock directly on the Little Prince. Even if he decides to drop a spell, it's not going to be able to matter that much because we do heal up past the point that it matters. We're going to zap here so then the mortar doesn't lock onto our tower. Instead, it locked onto the bandit and missed. And then the bandit just dashed through again. This bandit is a dashing machine. Let's go. All right, so our strategy is going to be going in for Little Prince here on top of the mortar. He'll probably go Little Prince. We could click the ability if they do. If not, then it's fine just letting it roll. Then we can go for our evolved skeletons on the right because this is going to spam and force out all the elixir. And if they don't... Oh, they got double small spells. Dang. Wait, dude, stop it. Guardian, please? Lock onto the tower. Yes, the cheese is real. I'm going to go for a zap as well, and the Guardian doesn't stay locked on the tower, but that would have been a nice thought. I can go for bats and then keep up the aggression because if you think about it, their effective counters to our aggression is just going to be spells, and they won't have elixir to stop the miner, plus drop spells at the same time after dropping the mortar. So we want to keep the elixir very low in this type of environment where our opponent has higher cost cards and can kill us if he can afford everything. So I'm going to try to go in for the wall breakers here again because we know that the only answer is going to be mortar or dropping 2 spells on the wall breakers because the Cannoneer is targeting on top of the Mega Knight instead. So I definitely do want to go for a zap just to cycle a little bit more and get more damage. It's important not to drop it too soon. Oh my gosh. Wait. This is really gnarly for me. I'm not going to go in for bats because I think that was just too easy of a prediction. So I ended up just leaking and letting the Little Prince lock onto our tower in the right because it won't take out my tower. I knew that everything on the left would have been way more tragic if that had locked into my tower. So I was like, yeah, let's afford the Mega Knight. Little Prince we can deal with later with the evolved bats if we needed to. And I'm proud to say we endured the epic siege successfully. Keeping our patience under stress really paid off. Because if we spent too much elixir against the Little Prince, it would have been game over. As long as you can afford the Mega Knight, it's a big bailout and can pretty much defend against anything on your side of the map. Yasha finished 148 in the world. So you already know, a top tier talented Sir. And he's got the heart tower. So, you know, he's just calling me Cupid's arrow, but in the form of skeletons and bats. I wonder if we could have used the archer as a leapfrog, so then the bandit would have dashed into the tower, but I guess that's not going to happen right now. Maybe it does. Oh, Royal Hogs, let's go! There's no way. I literally got lucky. It finally happened. Oh, he's going to activate King Tower. We got to go bats. We can't let him activate King. We can't let him activate King. He's going to drop something in the middle. He's going to try it. Oh my gosh. Because we ended up going for the bats, we forced them to go in for a delivery. And if they hadn't went for the delivery, they would have dropped something in the middle. The Mega Knight would have jumped towards that and activated King Tower. It's important to recognize the situations where you are screwed as a Mega Knight player. Never let an unsupported Mega Knight wander into the wilderness alone, because you'll become dejected, disappointed, and your opponent will have a 3 crown and sitting there smiling. So do not let them activate King Tower at all costs. Always, always drop something with a Mega Knight, whether it's going to be bats or wall breakers. You just can't let the Mega Knight wander alone. Yo, this guy had to atone and took some damage from that bandit, stealing some health as well. You know, the princess is still smiling there with the heart tower. I feel like I'm being very heartless, but it's okay. It has to happen. I'm a Mega Knight. I don't know, villain, I guess. I was going to say antagonist, but I think I'm a super villain, to be honest. If there was a super villain card in Clash Royale, it would have to be the Mega Knight. You guys let me know. I feel like when they add an evolution for the Mega Knight, it's going to have a cape, and it's just going to be extremely scary. So this menacing Mega Man has a plan of devouring the tower here. And I want to aid his endeavors, utilizing our bats, evolved skeletons, and zapping on the evolved skeletons from our opponent. Okay, why do they just keep multiplying in the middle? This is a weird movie that I didn't know existed. Cool, not cool. We're in a bad spot. Wait, am I dead? I think so. Maybe. Okay, we have to go in for skeletons on top of his evolved archer. And then we got to go bats here. And then we got to go in for a miner. And this is looking really bad. He's obviously going to go in for a delivery on the left. But when will he drop it? Will he drop it late? Hopefully the bandit can lock into the tower. How is one of the bats still alive? We're still alive. We're not dead, my dudes. Let's go. Keep spamming. I need to win this. I need to just be a dummy. I need to spam my way to success. It's the only way to victory. It's the only path forward. Okay, it's kind of working. The bat is on the tower. I don't know how that did so much damage, but I'm vibing with it. So, weird game. Definitely wild. And, of course, they're going to go for an earthquake. That's a smart decision. What do we do? Well, we're going to go and split up our skeletons again, because that worked so well for us last time. All right, we're going to run it back with our Mega Knight, and we can cycle multiple Mega Knights maybe. I don't love the fact that they're going to go in for a log. I don't appreciate that behavior. We are not loving it. We are definitely not loving it anymore. So the Mega Knight's going to die. Wall Breaker's going to go in nothing. Oh my gosh. What is this game? Is this even Clash Royale anymore? Or have we wandered into something different? How do I have so many evolved skeletons still alive? What the heck is happening here? All right. We're going to try to go in for a Little Prince. We're going to try to go and snipe that. And maybe it will work. Okay. You know what? This is looking a lot better than I thought it would. He doesn't have the right card cycle to deal with the evolved bats because he just ended up using the delivery. So maybe we can manifest a way through before they get back to a delivery. And of course they get back to it instantly. Stop the spam. I beg of you. All right. We're going to go Little Prince and try to go and click the ability and then maybe afford the Mega Knight. So that's our strategy. Affording the Mega Knight on top of the evolved archers before they lock into my tower. Okay. All right. Chill. Calm down for a second. I'm going to go in for our wall breakers here. I'm going to try to get probably a Zapperino. If the wall breakers connect, then that's huge. And that does happen, so that's good. Obviously, that's very good. And then Machine Gun Kelly here. Oh my gosh, the Mega Knight didn't jump.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Why did that not happen? What are these games today? Please, just one skeleton on the tower. That's all we need. Let's go. I just beat a top 200 player with my Mega Knight Pro Tactics. I yoinked this deck off for professional players, and it works for a reason. You can have silly and stupid games and still stupefy your opponents. Evolved bats and skeletons are simply mega overpowered. Jump all over the like button if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.